All right, so Snowden is back with us today. We talk about like bad news. Sometimes you listen to our newscast and you're like, you need some joy in my segment. There's a lot of stress out there, financial stress, work pressures, families, blah, blah, blah. It can feel very overwhelming and you could feel discouraged. And sometimes people tell you just to like get over it. You know, they'll be like, oh, everything's so good compared to all the terrible things that are happening. So, you know, we want to unpack this a little bit. So we know executive coach, author, professional speaker, Snowden McFall is in the house sharing some practical techniques to make our lives better. I feel like that's why we bring you on, Snowden.
That's a great role to play.
I know it is. It's not. It's kind of magical, isn't it?
It is.
All right. So, you know, what are some of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're trying to kind of pull themselves out of a bad mood?
You know, they stay stuck in the bad mood and they downward spiral. I mean, we all can do that, right? We can all just catastrophize and think of the worst. Right. And so what you really want to do, you know, there's some research I've shared with you before, different aspects of this, from Shirzad Chamine, the author of Positive Intelligence, which is a course that's been taught to 1 million people worldwide. And in 30 or 40 different, 108 countries.
Right.
And and so
good reputation.
He teaches this technique called accept or convert.
Oh, okay.
So when something not good happens, you have a couple choices. You can accept it.
Right.
And you know, the way you do that is you hold it in your hands for 10 seconds, you hold your hands together, say, I accept this, and you just let it go and you move on. And then the other strategy is convert.
I like that one better, I think.
Yeah, so you convert to a lesson or a gift.
Okay.
So, you know, every experience has some kind of lesson for you, and every experience can be turned into a gift.
So I literally just wrote that to a friend.
Oh, wow.
I did. It was my sister. We were talking and I was like, how can we convert this hard thing into something that's a positive? Because everything, I mean, we're not going to not have hard things, right?
Right.
So I like converting rather than, and some things you do have to accept, right?
Right, because you can't change them and you have no control over them, but converting. So for example, many years ago when I was a school teacher, I had been teaching in the school and I lost my job to a reduction in force.
Okay.
And I was very upset, obviously. And I ended up getting a job at a better school system.
Okay.
And later I was able to realize that it was a gift that I lost my job because the first school system was so negative. This is up in New England. It was so negative that I was in a much better place.
Right.
So that's one of the gift.
How long did it take you to get to that point though where you were able to look at it differently?
You know, a few months.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
you weren't as good as you are now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It took, well, you know, when I realized that people were very excited about me coming in, I guess it was really just a couple weeks.
Okay.
I was excited about, they were excited about me coming in as opposed to the old school. So, you know, but there's always a gift. And sometimes you don't know it for months.
Right. But you know there's going to be, I mean, you're going to get through it.
That's
the thing. I mean, I think what we all kind of have to think is like, okay, this feels really hard right now. This feels very negative, but I'm going to get through it. So let me just try to move as fast as I can and maybe have some positive moments in between that as well.
That's right. And another strategy is to really focus on expansive rather than contractive.
Okay. So what are some expansive activities?
Well, by expansive, what I mean is it makes you feel good. Okay. So, you know, it might be, for me, it's going to the beach, laughing, being with friends, watching a Hallmark movie. You know, those are things that make me feel good. And then contractive are the things that make you feel small. Like, you know, for some people it's paying bills, scary movies, when somebody criticizes you, arguing, those are all things that make you feel.
You know, it's funny about, like, just leave that up if you don't mind, guys, but the scary versus like a Hallmark movie, what I realize sometimes, like I loved scary movies growing up. I used to, but now I realize if I watch, because now you can binge watch everything. Right. If I do, I get scared. I start to feel kind of like,
and you have nightmares, right?
Yeah, I just don't, it does not make me joyful. So I've had to realize, so I like that because you almost have a list of the expansive, at least get those. And then maybe just take a look at the things that maybe you're doing that don't make you feel as good.
Right, and I mean, that's part of it is awareness, right? Everything is about awareness. So if you make your own list of what's expansive for you, what's contractive, then you don't do the contractive nearly as often. Yeah. And you do the expansive more often. That will help you shift your mood, help you shift what you're dealing with.
Yeah, now, as we're saying, the real deal is life is hard. You know, it can be. I don't like to say it is. It can be, or you can have moments that are.
Right.
But you can't avoid everything that's contractive. Right. So how do you make them less draining?
Well, you know, try and shift your perspective on them. So, like, we're talking about bill paying. instead of saying, oh my God, whether you have enough money and how many, start tracking that you're reducing your debt. And you go, okay, I got that down by $50, and so, start tracking it, switch it around to something that's more expansive, change your lens. And laughter.
Yeah,
if you can laugh about things, that's one of your strengths, I know.
I love laughing and I love smiling. I realize as people are like, are you fake? Like when I put on the smile and I'm like, no, I'm actually shifting. I'm mood shifting right now.
That's
with
right.
the smile.
That's right. That's what you got to do. It's all in your attitude and how you look at things.
Yeah, I think, and also you have talked in the past about keeping that list.
Yes.
So I think maybe the contractive activities, even though the list might look long, when you start crossing them off, ooh, that feels so good.
It does. That's an expansive activity.
Yeah, exactly. And even you might just say, I got out of bed. Check it off.
There you go.
Get credit for
some
it.
days you didn't want to.
Yeah, no, I know you're really good at teaching us things like when we're in that space, doing something physical or mental just to kind of get out of it.
Right, and you can always do that. You can always make a shift. It's always a choice.
It's always a choice.
It's always a choice.
Which a lot of people don't realize.
That's right.
That we can choose every day to make it better.
That's
then
right.
you can't let it control us.
And smile.
And smile. I do. I love it. I do. It makes me feel so good.
That's
All right.
right.
You want to leave us with one last thought as you finish today?
Well, I think so many people these days feel like they don't have power over their lives. And you have much more control than you think because you can control your inner environment and what you expose yourself to. When I'm seeing something that's upsetting or I'm around something that's happening that's disturbing, I move myself out of that.
Yeah.
If there's a person in my life that I find is continually bringing me down, I don't spend time with them.
Yeah.
You have more control than you think, and you make the choice.
Yeah, amen. That's powerful, right?
Yeah.
You make the choice. I think one thing before we go, I'll just share that I'm learning is when especially in text messages, like I think I'm saying something that's going to end, but then I realize it just opened up another can of worms. So I'm realizing I don't have to say the thing, I can just say I can't do that or no. I don't have to give all these explanations that open up conversations, and that's given me power.
No is a complete sentence.
Yeah, amen. That's a whole nother segment we'll do.
It is, that's it.
No. All right, thank you. I do appreciate you coming on. Are you a soccer fan at all?
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited about Sporting Jacks and what they've been doing. It's so cool.
All right. Well, then you should stick around because we have the women's coach on with Sporting Jacks. We are talking World Cup. I'm so excited to talk with her. First-year team, and they went to the playoffs.
It was
incredible.
Amazing. We have incredible sports in Jacksonville.
We do. You know what? You should do this interview. We'll be right back after the break.